by the G-Men, makes his first career start. His welcome to the NFL moment is a Chargers defense. We'll examine the matchup coming up next.
Impose the wheel, man, in 50 minutes. From the start to finish, they gotta feel us, man. The man in front of you can't stay the there.
Back goes Hurts. He's going for Brown. Touchdown! The Eagles have come to life.
Looks long for Abuka. He makes the catch at the 50-yard line with one hand.
Holds the ball in his hand, gets a downfield block. Mahomes diving for the near front pylon. Touchdown!
They're going to throw it again for Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins has got it.
Pressure coming from Van Noy. Throws. It's caught in the end zone by Keon Goldman.
We are bringing the heat today. We got our players that are anticipating big-time performances. Now, Myles Garrett and company, I don't know why he just stands out to me. Typically, he's hard to miss, but that Browns defense has been stellar so far this season. Will they deliver today? We certainly will find out. With that, we welcome you inside our studios. It's Game Day Preview, and it's brought to you by, yes, Old Trapper Beef Jerky, Mike Am, Michael F. Florio, and Cynthia Freeland.
Woohoo!
For the entire show.
I'm right here.
Well rested today, too.
I am well rested. I'm like dancing. We're ready to go. I'm looking at David Njoku with that like Saturday Night Live suit going on there. That was incredible. Whenever you got that.
And we actually have some international games. Well, one international game, but it's going on right now.
It's going on right now, and we do need to know, is your middle name Frank?
No.
Actually, it is, just for this one particular show.
Just for
today.
The joke that will never get old and will be revisited every single week here on Game Day Preview. Let's take you to Dublin right now. What's going on? We got a 7-3 count. Aaron Rodgers has been balling, but how about DK Metcalf absolutely delivering? 4 catches already, 122 yards, this for 80.
80, but it was a short pass, and DK Metcalf did all of that. That's what this whole offense has looked like all season long. This guy's taking all of the short passes and relying on all the. But when you have someone that's that size, good luck, everyone else.
Significant target. Rodgers, by the way, 14 of 16 passing, 174 yards, and 1 touchdown. As the game continues to unfold, we will update you here on Game Day Preview. Meanwhile, we get some news. Our NFL Network insider, Ian Rappaport, is with us right now. Ian, no one better to talk to about some guys that are a little dinged up. Take me through the slate and some significant names that you're tracking.
We'll start with the Los Angeles Rams and Davante Adams, their star receiver, who created such fanfare this offseason by signing with the Rams, then has played great, found a quick connection with Matthew Stafford. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. He is going to play today. Came into the day listed as questionable. Really shouldn't be. They don't believe an issue for Davante Adams. Want to see that connection with Stafford continue to grow. For the San Francisco 49ers, they, really as they've been all season, are dealing with their own injury issues. There's some good news, and then there's some more good news, which for the 49ers has basically been not the case at all. We'll start with the quarterback position. Brock Purdy is back. He has been dealing with turf toe the past couple weeks. It was a 2 to 5 week injury. This is week 3. He is good to go. He's off the injury report this week and moving a lot better. Juwan Jennings, who has emerged as one of their top receivers, came into the day with an ankle and shoulder injury. He is good to go. And Ricky Pearsall, young receiver, second-year guy who really has impressed. Early on, he has been dealing with a knee injury, expected to go against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are getting a lot of really good players back. First of all, we'll start with the quarterback position. Baker Mayfield was limited in practice this week with a biceps injury. But if you know Baker, if there's a possible chance that somehow, some way he's going to play, well, then he's going to play. So, of course, Baker is going to play. But Tristan Wirfs, their standout left tackle, their highly paid, excellent left tackle, he has been fighting off a knee injury. He had surgery right before a training camp in the summer. He is going to make his season debut, as is Chris Godwin. Remember, Godwin had 2 surgeries on his ankle. 1, to repair it, and 2, to remove some of the hardware, and actually accelerated his return. They were hoping for a week 5 return for Godwin. This is better. So no Mike Evans on the field for the Bucs, but they do get Chris Godwin back, maybe in a limited fashion. But good news anyway.
Yeah, it'll be awesome to see him out on the football field. We've seen this Buccaneers team give us plenty of drama through these first couple weeks of the season. Maybe we get a little bit more today. Ian, I know you're back with us later here on Game Day Preview. Let's take a closer look at the slate, though, and some of the matchups that Ian made reference to. Your Week 4 games. And once again, Vikings and Steelers, it is going on right now. It is a 14-12 count. Minnesota just getting on the board. We'll continue to update you as the day. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, they just put it for the wrong person.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually 20, about to be 21-6.
I just got tricked by the score bug as I turned over my shoulder. I'm glad you have a better line of sight of what I'm supposed to be looking at than certainly I do. So
no, you're
Steelers
supposed to be
again.
doing what you're doing. I'm distracted by the TV in the room, as most people are.
Likewise.
Usually.
As Ian made reference to, the Bucs certainly getting a little bit healthier, and a huge matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles team that's also won in some dramatic fashion.
Can they block this? Can he miss this?
No, other than the block, he hasn't missed this season other than the block.
Well, this would be a good time. This is for the game. Hold your breath. The ball is spotted. The kick is away. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's picked up by the Eagles. Running with it is Davis. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! Game over! Jordan Davis!
Are you kidding me?
Blocked him again!
Are you kidding me?
Blocked him again! Have you ever seen anything like this? And the final score is 33-26.
Special teams, the story. Now, this dude is just, he's flatline. I don't care. It doesn't matter what happens. He is just so even. I mean, you got Jordan Davis taking it the other way. And look at Jalen. It's almost like he's the losing quarterback in this game. What am I missing here?
It looks as though he just expected. He's like, well, I've seen Jordan Davis before. This looks like something that he can obviously do this. Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Sometimes I think he's just really committed to the bit, though, right? Like, how are you not excited in that moment? I think in his head, he's very excited, but he's like, I can't show it, you know?
Which might be a fair assessment, and maybe he is just really committed to it. But to think that I need to be committed in that moment is saying something. They get a Bucs team, and as Ian Rappaport just told us, they're starting to get a little bit healthy here. I think there's some people that are doubting this team. I'm certainly not one of them, but how does a win against Philadelphia change the perception of this Bucs team?
First off, how many times do you need to win your division before you're being taken seriously? Because getting to the playoffs is how you win a Super Bowl. Yeah. You know, it's got to score more points than the other team. That's how you win a game. Like, very simple stuff. But I think a win over the Eagles would solidify them as a Super Bowl contender. I think we already take them very seriously as a team in general and as a club that is feisty and going to be, you know, that guy, they take on his personality by far, right? Something pretty crazy. I don't care who his offensive coordinator is. He can do it no matter what. I would feel better about this game if Mike Evans were playing and Chris Godwin weren't on a limited pitch count, as Ian told us. But don't you think they're serious? I mean, what are we talking about here?
I think the Bucs are a serious team, but I think they get viewed as a division winner. Maybe you win a playoff game, but you're not a Super Bowl contender. And I think if you beat the Eagles, the perception changes then, right?
You're an SBC.
Exactly. And I know it's only week 4. We're very early. If Baker wins today, I think he belongs in I know, again, it's week 4, but the MVP conversation, like,
Can't nobody talk to Baker if he wins today.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he will not be able to speak. He will be like, all the way, nope.
His pressers this week will be must-watch.
By the way, I think even the way you describe it speaks to the perception problem that this Buccaneers team had. If it's another quarterback, if it's Josh Allen with these results, by the way, Josh Allen is obviously in the MVP conversation. I guess my point is this dude just continues to execute in these critical moments of games. He's not just like a stat stuffer. When they need a game-winning drive, he's delivering. You can't ask for much more than that on top of the numbers that he already has, and his team is winning. It's wild.
I would like to give a little credit to Bucky Irving, too, because one of the things that really turned things around for the Bucs in general was the run game. And maybe the short pass doesn't matter. It's still approximately a run game. So I think Bucky Irving needs a little love there, too.
Yeah, and Mike Evans out? Okay, well, putting Emeka Egbuka. Like, it doesn't matter. The pieces around him, the coordinators, it all changes. They keep playing well.
An embarrassment of riches is how I describe that wide receiver room. It is spectacular. Giants, they have one really good wide receiver who never seems to smile, although Jackson Dart getting the start might bring a frown to a smile for Malik Neighbors. Well, the chatter for much of this offseason around this Giants team was, when are we going to see Jackson Dart? People were taking that guessing game. Week 4 it is. Brian Daboll making the announcement that Russell Wilson will get benched, and we will see the first-round pick get an opportunity against the Chargers. Here's Daniel Jeremiah.
Really excited to see Jackson Dart in his first start with the New York Giants going up against a very tough opponent in the LA Chargers and a Jesse Minter-led defense. If you look at the strengths of Jackson Dart, first of all, he's rugged, he's physical, he's tough, he's got a live arm, he's an excellent athlete. You can move him around, you can use him on some design quarterback runs. They did a lot of that at Ole Miss. He's very comfortable in the RPO game. I think you saw that not only in college, they incorporated that in the preseason when he got a lot of work in this Brian Daboll offense. So I think you'll see that incorporated. You're going to see the screens get involved. When you watch him, I think he's most comfortable when you can kind of spread the formation out. You'll see some empty, get guys out in the routes, let him find matchups, make quick decisions, and get the ball out there. So some slants, some quick hitters, funnel that ball to the perimeter quickly. Sprinkle in some design quarterback runs, some scrambles as well, and then take some vertical shots on the outside over top of coverage, some of those up and down throws. I think that's where Jackson is most comfortable. If you condense everything down, you bring a lot of bodies in there, it gets a little muddy in the middle of the field, especially with a Chargers defense that loves to rush 4. They're going to have a lot of eyes on the quarterback in the back end, which they're very, very good in the secondary. That's where you could see some tips and some turnovers potentially take place. So short and quick outside, underneath, and then your shots down the field, I think they're at their best if Dart is pushing it vertically on the outside of the numbers. So just a few things to look for as Jackson Dart makes his first NFL start.
DJ, certainly looking forward to this debut. You get taken in that first round, you're going to see some action. We've seen him in some games sprinkled in, hasn't actually attempted a pass so far. What do you expect to see from him? I know DJ gave us his analysis, said some quick passes, and for what it's worth, the Chargers, you start combing through the next-gen stats, it'll tell you that the Chargers defense, for as good as it is, has had some problems defending the slot.
Yeah, and I mean, you could take advantage of that with Wan'Dale Robinson today. Yep. He leads the NFL in yards from the slot. The fantasy guy in me wants to give you the Malik Neighbors answer, right? Just feed one the ball. That's what I think Jackson Dart should be doing today. But more than anything, what I'm really looking forward is, can he inject life and excitement into this offense? Because outside of week 2 against the Cowboys, which we've now had a large enough sample size to say that was more on the Cowboys defense, I think, than it was Russ and the Giants offense. But outside of that game, this Giants offense has looked very lackluster. They don't have a lot of excitement going on, not a lot of big plays and stuff. So can he re-inject some life into this offense? I know we're only 3 weeks into the season, but that's what I'm looking forward to today.
Well, I'll follow along with that, but to kind of play off of what DJ was saying as well, is the fact that let's go with higher probability stuff. That is how Brian Daboll made Josh Allen into the guy that we've seen. It's start with the easy stuff and then unfold the stuff that's harder as the easy stuff starts working. So his legs work for him. I did not like watching him throw off platform. If you go watch the stuff from Ole Miss, like that off platform throw stuff, they need to train that out of him. So I don't think that they're going to ask him to throw while sprinting. That's one of the highlights that we showed. I do think what he's going to say is, let Cam Scadaboo be a bruiser. We know that is how that man wants to play. Throw the shorter, ask Malik Neighbors to get you yards after the catch, get him in space, just hit him on something small. And the area that the Chargers defense has been very good, if you're looking at those plus 10-yard passes, downfield throws, they're allowing only 20% of them to be caught, best in the league. So do the short stuff. Yeah. Slot yak, slot yak, slot yak. It's okay to start with the easy stuff first.
Good news is they're home for this game. Bad news is the Chargers are a really good football
No Khalil Mack, though, so that's good for him.
No shortage of confidence, too, in that room. Jackson Dart, he believes in Jackson Dart.
Crop sweatshirt? Oh, man. Remember in Mean Girls, I saw Jackson Dart wearing a crop sweatshirt, so I wore a crop sweatshirt.
Yeah, we did like one of those, I saw one of those social clips, and they had asked him, like, hey, how would you do as a baseball player? And he's like, I'd bat like 300 or something. It's like, no, you wouldn't. Colts and Rams, the matchup here, Puka Nacua, Jonathan Taylor, two guys that have had outstanding seasons so far. And if you go through some of the numbers here, the Colts all of a sudden are like the real deal in the NFL. A lot of that has to do with Daniel Jones. And you can see what these numbers are. And yeah, Giants fans, we're following up your segment with Jackson Dart talking about how the Colts offense led by Daniel Jones is absolutely balling so so far
you.
this season. I don't
Giants
want
fans,
to.
You're a troll.
I am a
fans.
Giants fan, and this is like I'm cringing at part of this here. How much are you buying this 3-0 start though?
I'm buying all of it. Not because I think Daniel Jones is the second coming of any, Peyton Manning or anything like that. But
the numbers say differently, by the way.
No, this is where that's too small of a sample size. What I will say, though, is the number that stands out to me as being the most important one is that third down in yards to go number. It is the lowest in the NFL. You know why? Jonathan freaking Taylor. He's doing all of the things that keeps the defense guessing. A defense is not going to be like, hey, Daniel Jones is going to drop back and throw an errant pass here. You know why? Because Jonathan Taylor will run it up the gut. So I think the fact that Jonathan Taylor on the early downs is really helping Daniel Jones look like the superstar, because you can only air it out if people think you could potentially have the threat of running on them. So I think those two things are working together, and low-key, this defense has also been very good. Yeah. Just talked about the 20% for the Chargers defense. Well, it's 20.7% for this Colts defense, Lou Anarumo. So maybe it wasn't him in the Bengals that was a problem. Just saying.
It definitely was not him that was the problem with the Bengals defense, in my opinion. I don't want to be the hater on this show, but
you're the hater.
I'm not fully buying into it.
You're the Daniel Jones hater.
Exactly why. So far, they've played two of the top 5 teams that create the lowest pressure rate in the NFL. We know Daniel Jones could pick teams apart from a clean pocket. Today, I think it's a huge test, though, because the Rams create a lot of quick pressure. So in a game that could be a little bit back and forth, higher scoring, I want to see how Daniel Jones responds under pressure to that. If he has a good game today, I will take the L and say that I'm completely wrong.
I think this is the best game of the day. I don't care. I know the Ravens and Colts or the Ravens and the Chiefs are playing. I get it, but I think as far as like the chess match that happens, this is going to be the one where like, whew, that was crazy.
Look, I think the Rams are Super Bowl contenders. I think what we saw even last week.
You think the Colts are Super Bowl contenders?
I'm not quite ready to go there just yet.
So, okay.
Cynthia really likes this game. The one that I think is the game of the day is the one that we're going to talk about right now.
Anytime Lamar is on the team, you know you have a chance to hoist the Lombardi.
Lamar Jackson, he is sacked!
Mahomes. Oh, my gosh.
I've had days of struggle. Nothing seems to go my way.
Gut-wrenching collapse by the Ravens.
Patrick Mahomes, for the first time, has lost 3 games in a row.
Nothing quite as rough as today.
This is a shared loss of the worst possible kind.
If you would have told me that the Ravens and the Chiefs would be sitting at this point into week number 4 at 1-2, I would have said, no, I'm not buying it. But the highest passer ratings career-wise in NFL history, you were talking legitimately about 2 of the greats in Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. And Lamar knows he's going to have a tough challenge today.
Well, we got to lock in. You know, I feel like the last 3 games, even with the win versus Cleveland, we started off slow. You know, we just got to play how we play ball. You know, play football, play Raven football. Like I said, self-scout ourselves and just get ready for Sunday.
Well, it is time for Game Picks, and it's presented by Crocs. The footwear is legit. You know, Cynthia Cynthia double dips usually on Sundays. We get her the whole entire show today. I know when you're coming because I can hear the high heels rolling around the corner. If you're rocking the Crocs, you'd be like a silent ninja for us.
I should do that. But if they'd be in my size, these are like a women's size 11. Well, much smaller feet than that. These are huge.
All right, so footwear aside here, give me the assessment on this game, because these are 2 teams that I think are struggling in different ways, and yet it is hard for me to envision the way this Ravens team has lost some of these games that they might have some problems in this one with this Chiefs defense.
Yeah, well, the Ravens offense, I'm less concerned about. Yeah. The Ravens defense, I'm more concerned about. And surprisingly, I mean, when you're asking Patrick Mahomes to do everything, this is a question of which one is kind of breaking in the wrong direction, right? So even though my model says the Ravens, I'm going to give the case for the Chiefs here, because I only have the Ravens winning by 1 point, and the Chiefs are underdogs at home by more than 1 point. So I'm just going to make the case for the Chiefs really quickly, because when I'm look at how open Mark Andrews is here. Do you think that the Chiefs are going to let that happen? The answer is N to the O. The Chiefs defense is a huge strength for them. Lamar Jackson is a tough guy to absolutely do anything against. We get it. But the strength of both teams are the matchup here, and I think that this is one where the Chiefs we're at home. we have to get this right.
Yeah, this is a huge game for both teams. Cynthia was nice enough to leave the Ravens for me. That's who I'm going with in this one. I just think they are the more talented team. You look at the records, right? 1-2 for both. Very different 1-2, though. The Ravens lost to two great teams in the Lions and the Bills, the Chiefs. Look, they faced tough opponents. But I just think the Ravens, if they don't beat themselves today, it's very hard to beat the Ravens.
Got to protect Lamar. 7 sacks on Monday night.
Which one are you picking?
He's going the Ravens.
Which shoe do you want?
It's been a year, and we're into week 4. I haven't picked against the Ravens one time during that entire span. Because generally speaking, I go, give
the Ravens
me
win,
the best roster.
Someone had to give the chance for the
By the way, what size is
They're just huge. Okay, Crocs feet. I would love them in my size. These are super cute.
Can I actually take these home with me? Because
they're your size. Well, good. That's how we know. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. I'm rolling with these. Meanwhile, Micah Parsons, relatively familiar with his opponents this week. I just hope he finds the right locker room. Take a closer look at Packers and Cowboys. It's coming up.
Micah Parsons coming to town this week.
Who's coming to town?
I'm one of one.
In a sec, Micah Parsons. The Parsons Project is underway.
We know him well. He plays for Green Bay?
He does.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my guy. It's going to be painful.
I hope it's not for me.
Once the game starts, ain't no one talking about the trade.
What's Your Beef? Presented by Old Trapper. I think Micah Parsons has a beef. I don't know if anyone saw this story, but could not get a refund on the luxury suites down in
Those
Dallas.
ain't cheap either.
They said, nope, you're going to have to go and pay for it. But he's back in Dallas. He's got a suite to be able to have some fun with it. Tell me what this reception you anticipate him getting.
I think he's going to get a beloved reception from the fans. Know he wanted to be there, and it's not his fault that he's not there right now. Like I think the fans are it's not. I think fans have gotten more, social media and everything. Like, they know he wanted to be there. They know Jerry is the reason he is not there. And I think fans are going to be on Team Micah today.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think they're going to be like, whatever. They're going to pretend like, oh, we don't even remember you. Who
Pre-game, they'll like
who?
once he gets a sack.
Oh wait, who are you? Who are you again? I don't. No.
Well, Shadi's is like, Micah what? Micah who? So I get that. Something tells me that the players are keenly aware of where Parsons is at all times.
Should be.
Meanwhile, I know Michael Florio's got his eyes on that dude and the Buffalo Bills at home against the Saints. Game day preview continues to roll.
Impose your will, man. It's 50 minutes. From the start to finish, they gotta feel it, man. The man in front of you can't stay the there.
Back goes Hurts. He's going for Brown. Touchdown! The Eagles have come to life.
Looks long for Abuka. He makes the catch at the 50-yard line with one hand.
Holds the ball in his hand, gets a downfield block. Mahomes diving for the near front pylon. Touchdown!
They're going to throw it again for Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins has got it.
Pressure coming from Van Noy. Throws. It's caught in the end zone by Keon Coleman.
It is a fresh edition. There's no copying and cheating going on right here. Game day preview presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. There's a lot of things that I learn on this show. Some of them are football related, other things non-football related. Cynthia, amazing with numbers. Also, the best penmanship I've ever seen in my entire life. You will get treated with that coming up as we do our power rankings of our undefeated teams. That's coming up in just a couple minutes here. It's rare on this show where we actually get to do an in-progress highlight. There's a game going on right now, not in the U.S. We're taking to Dublin and check in on the Minnesota Vikings and the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers in this second quarter, that's what we call some yak. DK Metcalf for 80 yards, Cynthia.
I mean, this is what he's been doing all season long. Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw the ball deep, but he relies on the yak. When you got number 4, it's going to work out for you pretty well.
5 catches, 126 yards, and that touchdown for DK. Carson Wentz in as the starting quarterback, and that is a problem. TJ Watt, is there something this guy can't do on a football field?
No, he could do everything. It's him and Myles Garrett there, right? Like those two are the best at their position in the NFL.
Meanwhile, if you like a little more offense, and I know there were some questions about what we were going to see from the Pittsburgh Steelers this season with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, Gainwell, Kenneth.
Gained very well.
Oh, yeah. 57 yards on the ground, one of 2 touchdowns for him. And we got a Steelers team up 24.
Aaron Rodgers just making good use of that zone defense he's
yes. What is on the pregame playlist for that man, Josh Allen? Is he
We know.
set?
It's Chaperone. No, I actually don't.
Frank Sinatra. He listens to Sinatra before games.
He does.
He's told us. It's Sinatra.
The whole time? Like, I feel like there's got to be...
to me, that doesn't get you pumped up enough.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean,
to each their own.
Sunday Statement is presented by PNC Bank, and I guess the statement from Josh Allen is he's a little bit of a throwback there. All right, we got 6 undefeated teams in the NFL. We got the Eagles, the Bills, the Chargers, the 49ers, the Bucks, and welcome to the party, the Indianapolis Colts. Time for some power rankings here. We'll give you guys an opportunity to rank your teams. I'm going to have you go second because that penmanship, I don't want you to have to follow that.
Thank you.
Mike, give me the rankings.
So I started by saying I'm sorry for my penmanship because it is not anywhere close to Cynthia's. I'm a hater, right, for Daniel. I need to see Daniel Jones prove it, so I put him
drinking the haterade right there.
I have a little bit. I fully admit it. I have the Niners 5. I went back and forth between these two, but the Niners are undefeated, missing like half their team. They've had Mac Jones for 2 games. I trust Kyle Shanahan and everyone there, so I put them for 5. At 4, the Bucks. I think they are underappreciated. Baker Mayfield doesn't get enough love, and they're doing it regardless of who is in the lineup and who is out of the lineup. So I have and they pretty much have their division locked up already. The Chargers, I think, are super underrated. Like, totally. Their offense is clicking on all cylinders. They have 3 elite weapons in the passing game right now. I think Omarion Hampton is going to break out in a big way, continuing to move forward. Justin Herbert. And their defense is making life extremely difficult on the other teams. And then the top 2, to me, it's 1A and 1B. Being a Bills fan, I had to put them 1. But the difference to me was that win over the Ravens. I thought about this a lot, and I was like, of these 2 teams, which win would I say was the signature win of the season so far? And I do think that Week 1 game over the Bills. Plus, I just think they have their division kind of locked up already. And I got wrong what he listens to in pregame, but fun fact about Josh Allen, he throws up before every game. So he might be doing that right now.
Yeah, he might do a little Willie Beeman action before the game.
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
What? I'm sorry, I don't know if I gotta walk off. I don't know if I can stay for the rest of the show.
Stuff. Like, I didn't know any of this.
Okay, so I don't even know if you should watch football today. You should just watch Any Given Sunday. That is the homework assignment for you.
Yep.
So
over my head.
So
I don't know if I can talk anymore.
Sorry.
I don't know if I can sit next to you.
Oh my God, Jamie Foxx, the whole thing.
is like my soul person.
I've never seen it. I haven't seen a lot of movies though. That's something you need to learn about me.
Okay. No, I'm legitimately you were on the show next week. I'm telling you, this week.
By next Sunday, I will have watched.
Yes.
Good Lord, you better. I'm not coming back.
Like, what are we doing here?
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Okay, like Cynthia, take it away because I don't even know what to do with this.
Okay, so I started by writing that I love the Lions because I do. Number 6 for me was the Niners because they're so banged up for like the same reason. I agree that it's really impressive that they are doing what they're doing given the constraints. However, I don't know if it lasts, right? Number 5, the Colts, because I am not a Daniel Jones hater. Number 4, the Chargers, because they are still in the AFC West and it's tough sledding for them because of that. Number 3, the Bucks, because they are truly underappreciated. And I think if you're going to talk about who's more likely to make the playoffs, who's kind of more of a lock to, I think the Bucks. And then number 2, the Bills, because it's hard for me for the number 32 ranked run defense to put them in the number 1 slot. It just isn't going to happen. So number 1, the Eagles for me. And again, 1A, 1B. I picked the Bills and the Eagles in the Super Bowl, so I'm pretty happy about both of these 2 things. I actually picked the Bills to win. So they've got some time. They've got some time to go to number 1 in the end. But
have we seen the best of the Eagles so far?
No, we have not. I mean, they just started. For the first 10 quarters this season, they completed 2 of 7 downfield passes. And then in that second quarter, we back, baby. And Mr. Ice in his veins, Mr. I don't need my heart rate to go up when a giant man runs for a crazy touchdown for us to win.
Can we compare our penmanship, though?
Yeah,
it's night and day here. I mean, I know I very much lose this one.
Marianne Freeland is the reason because of this. I got,
No. But like, if you look as closely at Cynthia's, when you're like a kid and they have like the lines, like paper. I mean, it really does look like there's like fake lines there, and you were able to fill it in like that.
Mine's all over the place. I have no lines or anything.
For as bad as you think that is.
No, it's still really good.
My penmanship looks like I'm writing like with a crayon and a fist. I mean, half the time I can't even read my own notes. That is a true story.
Touchdown for the Vikings.
We got another one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check in.
Vikings touchdown
with a strike.
that was
pretty.
helps no one. Touchdown.
Yeah. Ashton Genty. I think some people will be concerned about the Raiders offense. Michael F. Florio. He might not be. Is he a must start? The answer's next.
Oh, that's a tease.
Well, back here on Game Day Preview, let's still look at Tom Brady, who got a guy that's pretty accomplished. I would say, there's an opportunity for Baker Mayfield maybe to be this year's MVP. You put it out into the world earlier in the show, Michael F. Florio, and I think we should run with it. Bucks, big matchup a little bit later tonight. We've touched on them. We'll talk more about them coming up in just a bit in that game against the Eagles. I got the fantasy perspective on the set with me with Cynthia and Michael F. Florio. All right, 5 starts. Who are those guys that should be a lock for my lineup today?
Well, we teased with that.
I want to hear.
We teased with Ashton Genty. Right? Like, it would be awful if I was like, don't play Ashton Genty this week. I think you need to get Ashton Genty in your lineup. I think last week we saw him, because it runs like this, right? Yeah. We started to see him look more comfortable. He had his first 2 long runs as an NFL runner, and the issue for him has been he is getting hit behind the line of scrimmage on over half of his carries so far this season. He gets the Bears this week, who've allowed the most yards before contact per carry to running backs. They've also allowed the most rushing yards. So if you're not getting him in your lineup this week, why is he on your fantasy team? But I do think this is going to be his breakout game, his welcome to the NFL moment, if you would.
I love it for a couple of reasons. You outlined it great about the yards before contact that they're allowing, but I also really like the fact that people are starting to question Chip Kelly, right? That Raiders faithful, they're like, hey, is this really the right offensive coordinator for us? What's going on? And his answer is to be like, ha, watch this.
They got a chip on their shoulder, if you will.
Oh. jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
Well played. I don't even know where to go with it except for number 4.
Another rookie. It's a lot of rookies this week. I think week 4 is going to be a week where rookies break out. And I'm sorry, Cynthia, this one is against your Lions.
No, it's
but
okay.
Quinshaw Judkins, I think what we saw last week was him taking over that Browns backfield. He had all but one of the running back carries. And what I think is, because he was away all summer long, so the more acclimated he gets in the system, perhaps we see him get used more in the passing game. The Lions, they are a tough defense, but so are the Packers, and he ran all over them last week. And the one weakness the Lions have, they tend to allow a lot of long runs to running backs, so I'm hoping that Judkins could break a long one or two.
Okay, so I like Judkins, but I do want to point out, and I'm being very petty here, and I'm going to absolutely admit it, sometimes those guys that play in that state to the south, they don't play so great when they come up north to Michigan. I'm just saying, you know? Just being petty. Being petty.
By the way, if you couldn't tell, just look at what Cynthia, the color that Cynthia is wearing today. That'll give you an indication of which.
It's Honolulu.
Yes.
Which is the best color blue there is.
It is.
Way. Like, it is the best. And not quite more this color blue. You're going to see Omarion Hampton today. And he's going to be running over your
I don't think that's happening.
Unfortunately, we saw Najee Harris go down last week, and when that happened, it was elite volume for Hampton. 80% of the snaps, 19 carries, 7 targets, and now he gets the Giants, who not only have they allowed the 5th most runs to running backs, they're allowing over 5 yards per carry. They struggle with explosive runs, and I think game script will be on his side, so in the second half, we could see a whole lot of Hampton. To me, I think he is a must-start and could be an RB1 the rest of the way in fantasy.
Couldn't agree with you more. So far, we're completely in line. I think this is an interesting one. Like, there's a Omarion Hampton to score a touchdown situation that's available in some places that I don't know about, but I like that one a ton.
Giants defense is like the one bright spot so far, and their ability to get after quarterbacks and get penetration there.
But that's off the running back right now.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to find a silver lining here. And you mentioned rookies. This dude has been absolutely phenomenal this year.
Yeah, Emeka Egbuka. I think every Sunday so far I've come on this set and said to start him. So why would I jinx you guys in your fantasy team? Because it's been working. He is top 12 fantasy points every week, averaging 17 per game. And with Mike Evans out, I think we could see Egbuka be the top target today. I know everyone is going to think that goes to Chris Godwin, but this is his first game back. I know we're hearing that he's going to play a lot, but I do wonder if he'll be on any sort of a snap count or whatever. I think Egbuka's been out there with Baker, and I think that we'll see him rely heavily upon the rookie today.
Again, I agree with you. I think targeting some of the younger pieces of the Eagles secondary is a smart choice for fantasy. I would even argue you could potentially, if you're really in a dicey spot, look at K. Dotton for a little bit of extra volume here, because I don't think Chris Godwin will be full send.
Yeah.
I think there will be some version of a limited snap count in some way.
Yeah. By the way, you're part of the Rome Odunze fan club.
Yeah, I keep talking him up every week. Why would I jinx you guys now, right? I'm a big believer in that, and I don't want to jinx your fantasy teams or mine. And I have a lot of Rome Odunze, who has led the Bears in targets every single game. And it's not just that he's getting targets, he's getting the valuable targets. All of the downfield throws right now are going Rome Odunze's way, or the large majority of them. The end zone targets, most of them are going his way as well. That is how you rack up quick points in fantasy, big plays and touchdowns. So, and the Raiders, they have really struggled against wide receivers this year. So I'm all in on Rome Odunze. Are we 5 for 5?
5 for 5 right here. First of all, I'm never picking against a Husky, even if it's a former Husky, because I love Huskies. But ultimately here, I think that, targeting the Raiders' corners is great. The linebacker level, not as much. The safety level. Corners, target them one-on-one. Rome Odunze, absolutely with you.
Yeah, I think any Washington Husky fan right now is smiling on that check, considering what happened against Ohio State yesterday. That Buckeyes defense is legit. Got the sailgating going on in Seattle. Look, there's a lot of positives
things
that
going
are there. And Caleb
news.
Williams has been balling out. Another reason to be high on Rome Odunze. CJ Stroud, are we buying or selling what we're seeing so far? Cynthia's got her answer, and it's coming up next. Well, the NFL and the American Cancer Society created Crucial Catch because early cancer detection can save lives. The 5-year survival rate for many cancers is over 90% when detected early. It takes all of us to intercept cancer. Do not wait. Visit NFL.com/crucialcatch to find your local cancer screening resources and learn more on how to reduce your cancer risk. All right, taking a closer look at Mike Vrabel. Patriots putting this out on social media. You can see the T-shirt T Strong in honor of Terrell Williams, their defensive coordinator. It was announced yesterday, actually, battling prostate cancer. So obviously sending our well wishes to Coach and his family. Good to see the team, including Vrabel, supporting one of their own. All right, time to do a little buy or sell here. Cynthia? It's your time to shine. Are you going to tell me? We're going to talk a little bit of some fantasy underperformers right now. You buying or selling on C.J. Stroud? Because I think 2 years ago, coming off that rookie campaign, you're like, hey, this dude is unbelievable. Now all of a sudden, we're seeing, a little bit of a dip here.
Well, I'd be buying the dip for this particular week against the Titans because one of the ways that you can affect the Titans is through deep passing, which is a Nico Collins situation that could be good in this. Am I buying him all season long? My answer is no. But this particular week, absolutely, I would buy him this week.
Yeah, I agree because of everything Cynthia said. Plus, the Titans don't create a lot of pressure, and that, to me, has been the biggest hindering of C.J. Stroud's performance.
Josh Jacobs is one of those guys that we continue to just kind of pour over just based off of some results over the last couple seasons or so. Buying or selling what we're seeing right now, though?
I'm still buying him.
Okay.
It's going to be okay. Like, I understand against the Cleveland Browns' #1 ranked run defense, he didn't look so great. Okay, and I'm looking at, and Zach Tom was like, okay, and we're going to be totally fine. I'm buying him. Right. In fact, I would actually go potentially figure out a trade for him. Maybe you can capitalize on the fact that he's had a couple of games that are a little bit less than his normal average and get a good value on him.
Completely agree. He is an underrated RB1 for fantasy. And even last week, he got shut down on the run, but he had more yards in the receiving game, so he could win in numerous ways.
All right, just one of those names that we'll continue to track here. And I know last week on the show, you and I were hanging out. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, a lack of explosives downfield. A.J. Brown has at least woke up last week. Buying or selling?
I'm buying him.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's all about getting that chemistry together, and now we saw the chemistry form. So I think now and clearly they know each other. This has happened in the past. Does the game script say, yes, every week's going to be great, or if you overdrafted him, are you going to be annoyed? Sure. But I feel like if you appropriately drafted him in a place where sometimes it's going to be very A.J. Brown heavy and sometimes it's not, he's probably your very consistently wide receiver number 12, let's call him. Then if you're valuing him there, absolutely. So hold, don't worry about this one. It's just always going to look like question in each game. This is what you signed up for, though, if you drafted him.
I'm buying. I was one of those people over drafting him. I had him very high because I think he's a top 5 wide receiver talent in the NFL.
Talent, yeah. And volume, no.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they looked the best when they were throwing A.J. Brown the ball this year. So please keep doing that.
Last couple seasons, they look phenomenal when he's a really significant part of that offense. I don't know what to do because if you have Joe Burrow, you're obviously disappointed. You got Jamar Chase. You're not as disappointed because at least he's out there, but I don't know what to expect from him.
So I don't think it's going to look as bad as last week. It's rare that you see an interception on a pass directed towards him, but I don't think it's going to look great. I mean, if you look at the historical averages when he has played with Jake Browning or Jacob Browning, depending on who you're on TV with and how mad they get at him, you're going to see that the red zone targets go to T. Higgins. And that's likely because Jamar Chase usually gets a lot of targets in traffic, in tight coverage. So Jake Browning probably, especially after kind of throwing a bunch of interceptions last week, probably not going to want to go out there and do it again. So I'm holding, but I feel like if someone were to give me a nice little trade offer for him, I would be entertaining offers.
That's how I feel like anyone trying to trade for him though is going to give you such little value right now. I don't want to buy him though, but I have Chase on a number of teams and I would just hold.
Yeah, I would be panicked if I had Jamar Chase right now on my squad. Not exactly sure what to do. Best advice we've gotten so far, if you can orchestrate a trade for Jacobs, why not get an opportunity to see some upside the rest of the season? Some more fantasy news as it pertains to who's in and who is out. Got some actives, at least at the top. That bottom list, oh boy.
Terry McLaurin's a big one.
So is Mike Evans, who we talked about.
We knew that one, though.
Yeah,
we were a little,
for sure.
I thought maybe Terry might eke it out there at the end, but nope.
Yeah, that Commanders also, that squad without Jaden Daniels for at least one more week because of that knee injury. Time for our NFL Network insider, Ian Rappaport, who is back with us. Ian, it's good to have you back on the show, man. We talked through some of the injuries and some guys that could be in and out a little bit earlier. You get any more updates for us on some players that we should be tracking today?
Yeah, we'll start with a couple of big names for a big matchup today. It is Chiefs-Ravens. One of those teams is going to be 1-3, which just seems not possible, but that is the reality now. Isaiah Likely, though, for the Baltimore Ravens, is in fact expected to play. This is going to be, if it all plans out, if the pregame workout that they're going to put him through goes well, then you are expected to see the season debut of one of the better young tight ends in the NFL. Remember, he broke his foot early on in training camp. This is about 8 weeks from him breaking his foot, so him being out on the field, not going to be the full complement of snaps, likely a pitch count, but him being back will certainly help Lamar Jackson. And then for the Kansas City Chiefs, they get one of their stars back, Xavier Worthy, who tore his labrum running into Travis Kelce during the opening game, I believe it was, missed a couple games, going to play with a harness. He is off the injury report and good to go. He wanted to play last week, was pushing to play. Doctor stepped in and said it's just too early. So he is expected to go today. So both of these teams have a little added firepower.
Yeah, absolutely love this for the Kansas City perspective because they need some explosiveness, and hopefully Worthy can deliver that. By the way, for Isaiah Likely, we're returning to the scene of the crime. Week 1, almost had that touchdown at the end zone with the foot out of bounds. So an opportunity to rectify that in this game today if he is out there, and it looks like he will be. Ian, hit my inbox. All of a sudden, I'm seeing some reports from you. We got some notable players who potentially could be on the move. Take me through some of these trade conversations that are taking place.
That's right. Reek Woolen, the Pro Bowler. When he was a Pro Bowler, his name is Tariq Woolen. Now he's Reek Woolen, one of the better young corners in the NFL, the Seahawks star. My understanding is that teams are inquiring about Reek Woolen for a potential trade. I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks had some openness to this. Let me explain why. I know it seems crazy, but Devin Witherspoon came back on Thursday. He is really good, and he is going to play a lot. Josh Jobe has been a revelation. Darian Kendricks, who they claimed right around cutdown day, he's got 2 picks. He has been great. Nick Emenwari is back this week for Seattle, expected to be back. It suddenly makes Tariq Woolen a potential player that teams could go grab. And if you're Seattle, it's not like they're after a draft pick, but if you're Seattle and you have the opportunity to improve your team, maybe with a great receiver, maybe an edge rusher, certainly you would have to consider it. And then, of course, we know Jackson Dart going to start for the New York Giants today, making his debut as a starter. Here's my understanding of where it stands with Russell Wilson, who is going to be the backup today. I would expect Russell Wilson to emerge as a trade candidate. The reason I say that is, one, he's got experience, he's got starts, and he has played at times this year well enough for someone to come in and say, all right, he's better than the backup that we have. He's also due $2 million. He made $8, but he's been paid that already, right? So just $2 million on the books. That's what somebody would be trading for. And if you're a player for any team, you lose your starter. Certainly calling about Russell Wilson would at least make some sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you start thinking about all these quarterback injuries that we're seeing across the NFL, and there's nothing better than having an insurance policy, especially late in the year, if something does happen. So we'll find out if the Giants will pull the trigger on something like that. Ian, you're the best man. Always good to have you on the show with us, and looking forward to talking to you next week. And if there's news that breaks, I know you will have us covered. All right, let's move on here and discuss a little bit of the fandom in the NFL, in the ATL. I mean, how about this? I mean, they're telling me that's Usher. That doesn't look like Usher.
Why are his pants so high?
I think that's part of the reason why I'm not buying. Oh, yeah, no, that's definitely Usher.
It's definitely Usher, but why are his pants so high?
High
what
and
is
baggy.
going on?
Style is wild nowadays.
It is. I don't know if I should be the person dissecting people's.
I'm not pretending that I'm should be doing that either, but I'm just confused.
I know. It made me not think it was Usher, but it was, and we got a closer look at the face and the whole deal. All right, pick your take. It's a new segment that we're doing here. It's pick your take, not take your pick. So pick your take. So we got some cards that are on the desk here. You guys don't know the topics. So
no idea.
We're just going to fly in blind here. You can pull. It's like playing Uno. Just take it right off the top.
Why are Usher's pants so high? Just kidding. Which rookie have you been most impressed with so far?
Oh, okay.
So which rookie? All right, I'm still going to go back. I know it hasn't looked super great, but I'm still going to go back to Cam Ward because It's been terrible. He's been sacked the third most since 1970 through the first 3 games of any quarterback. And he's still out there creating for a team that needs him to create. No. Yes, it was messy last week against the Colts, and they changed their play callers, but it has impressed me to watch his stature, to watch his grace, to watch all the things that he's come to. I'm still very, very impressed with him and how he's been able to. This is terrible circumstances he's in, but but I believe he's having a good start, a better start than perhaps it looks.
I joke weekly that they're out there trying to make life as hard as possible on him.
I mean, and it's not just the defenses that are trying to do that, it's their own team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
and there's been a slew of drops, too, which also hasn't helped his case. By the way, there was a part of me that said, I wonder if you're making up that question. Then the topic bar popped up, and I was like, no, actually, that's what it was. So,
no, the Usher one I made up, though, just so you know. Made that one up.
Which 0-3 team is most likely to turn things around?
Good one.
The Giants came to mind right away because they've made the changes to go with Jackson Dart. I'll go with Big Blue because they're the first ones that kind of came in my mind. But I think when you make a move like they did to go with Dart, they have a lot of young talent there. I think that D-line could be one of the best in the NFL. I know their schedule is so hard the rest of the way, but if you're the Giants, you're not really looking to make the play. Obviously, you want to make the playoffs, but right now I think what you want more than anything is to see signs of life from your young players. So I think this could be a really successful season for them, even if they don't have a winning record or something like that, as long as they continue to show signs of growth with all this young talent they have on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, if I got you a cutoff sweatshirt, would you wear it?
No.
To be like Jackson Dart? If he wins, would you?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I go to the gym a lot, but not enough to rock the cutoff. So.
Well, he wears a shirt under it, so you know it's pretty conservative. Okay, here we go. Which player or unit has been the biggest head scratcher? The Kansas City offense. Easy. Watching not okay.
It's a good one.
Minus Patrick Mahomes because he's trying to do everything himself. Yeah. Why are you out here letting him tackle people? Why are you asking him to be the leading rusher on your team? Why is he throwing blocks? Like, what on earth? It's a head scratcher because they have a Hall of Fame, walk right into the Hall of Fame head coach, walk right into the Hall of Fame tight end. They have all of the pieces here that at least would make me think, I mean, look at that. He's just getting crushed.
Yeah.
Are they trying to make life as hard as possible on Patrick Mahomes?
Maybe they're like, you're so good. Let's give you a challenge.
Why don't we tie one of your hands behind your back and see what you can do? He just threw he tackled someone to save a touchdown.
Game changing.
Which, by the way, you and I talked about that. If Okereke gets into the end zone, like the Giants might have won that game.
Yeah.
Yes. But you're asking Patrick Mahomes to tackle
and be a team's leading rusher at times. I mean, at least for those first 3 weeks.
What did Giselle say after the Super Bowl when Tom Brady lost? She's like, he can't throw it and catch it. Yep. Hello. Yeah. He can't throw it, catch it, run it, and tackle people.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. The other team that they're playing today, the Ravens, I think you could make a case for their front seven. I mean, look, there's some injury issues.
Big injuries.
There, but at the same time, I mean, they are a 1-2 football team with that roster. That's at least a head scratcher to me. Last card, what do we got?
Who is your way too early MVP pick right now? I mean, you're probably asking
Daniel
the wrong
Jones.
guy.
Come on.
Daniel Jones is his.
I think it's Josh Allen, but I will say, I won't talk about Josh Allen here. I think Baker Mayfield belongs in the conversation, and Justin Herbert as well. Like, everyone's going to put Josh and Lamar in there, but I think those two other, Jalen Hurts as well. But
Jonathan Taylor.
Hey, I think he deserves more MVP love than Daniel Jones right now, but that's just me. But, yeah, I think, look, 3-0. Very favorable schedule ahead for Josh Allen. I think the Bills they have a chance to maybe run the table this year. But
whoa.
But Tampa. I mean, look, their next hard game is like the Chiefs in week 11.
It's actually legitimately though. I mean, Josh Allen is there. I'm glad you bring up Baker. Don't talk nearly enough about Justin Herbert, right? Like they might win. Can you imagine they win that division? If that happens, that's the case. And for whatever it's worth,
it's a good list.
Chiefs could be 3 games back by
It's a great list. I just wanted to mess with you about Daniel.
And we did picks they're going to be because, well, I guess in the division we'll see what happens. But you think they're going to lose today against the Ravens? So, and by the way, Lamar's numbers are like better than they were. At least he's pacing better than he did in his MVP candidate year.
Not his fault.
It's really not. Speaking of Jonathan Taylor, showing some love for the running backs to take you through some of these games. Still to come here on Game Day Preview. Oh, here we go. Get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN bundle with NFL Plus Premium, all for $39.99 per month. With NFL Plus Premium, stream live, local, and primetime games on mobile during the regular and postseason NFL Red Zone, 24/7 NFL Network, including 7 exclusive games this season, full game replays, and more. You can visit plus.espn.com/NFL for more information. Oh, there's Baker, like right on cue.
Those biceps look great.
Florio says, hey, MVP conversation and an opportunity to cement himself squarely in that mix with a win today against the Philadelphia Eagles. And probably more importantly for him, he'd be like, yo, we're Super Bowl contenders because of that. Time for Who Scores. It's presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sorry, I was waiting for that deal because I was like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure Jalen Hurts was on there. And he is. Saquon Barkley and Bucky Irving. Some anytime touchdown opportunities, at least for Jalen Hurts, to go and find his way into the end zone.
Bucky, there's a little plus there too? Okay.
Yeah.
We're good with that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Feeling positive here. All right, I started thinking about who's going to score some more fantasy points. Jalen Hurts or Baker. Which quarterback? Because this is actually a pretty tough one, Cynthia. Mike, which one do you think ends up scoring more points?
I think it's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a cheat code in fantasy. You know, it doesn't matter what you think is the better quarterback in real life. Which one is going to get the most fantasy points is what you care about. And Hurts has outscored Baker in 2 of the 3 weeks. In fact, Baker's high game on the year is 22.5. Hurts has already topped that number twice. And I do like Baker. He is running more, but he doesn't have the tush push on his side. And I think the harder defensive matchup in this one is for Baker going up against that Eagles.
How many points you get for the tush push?
You get 6.
That's right. There you go. Cheat code. There it is.
God, dude, I know. Look, at the end of the day, like
it works.
It does. I don't know. Maybe I sound like the old man. Get the ball off my lawn. I don't love watching it. That's just me. And also probably doesn't help that I'm
only
not an Eagles
Jalen
fan,
Hurts
so.
fantasy managers enjoy watching.
There's no question that is an accurate assessment. Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. Boy, this is 2 seasons for 2 different stories for both of these guys.
But listen, I don't care about the drops. I think Derrick Henry will be fine. But I'm picking Jonathan Taylor in this one because of exactly what we talked about. Keep Daniel Jones out of trouble. Keep him away from pressure. How do you get rid of pressure? I will say this over and over again. You run right in the mouth of it. And this O-line has really, really helped Jonathan Taylor to a season that I feel like is underrated. We aren't talking about him amongst the Saquons like last season. This is exactly what we saw from Saquon last season. They just aren't doing tush pushes with Daniel Jones. Just doesn't work like that. So I think it's going to be Jonathan Taylor in this one.
Okay. And
your MVP pick.
My MVP.
Yeah.
At least offensive player of the year. I mean, whatever.
Hey.
Like, it's not outlandish.
He's been amazing.
It's not outlandish.
Good to see him healthy out there, too.
Yeah.
Just a different dynamic from that offense. Couple wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua.
I'm going to go with the guy who plays. Well, they're both playing right next door today.
Yes.
But the one who lives next door in Puka Nacua. I don't think there's a wrong.
Yeah, he lives there. That's
yeah, he doesn't go home. I don't think there's a wrong answer here between the two, but I do think Puka, if we were to draft today for fantasy, he might be the first wide receiver off the board. He's been a top 6 fantasy receiver every single game this season. His low game in PPR is 23 points, and he doesn't have a touchdown yet. So the ceiling is really high. Look, we've seen one monster game out of Amon-Ra. He is great. Again, you're playing both of these guys in fantasy, but I just think Puka and the amount of targets that gets funneled through him makes him the number 1 guy moving forward.
It's a machine when he is out there. Brock Bowers, Jake Ferguson. 2 pretty good options there, too.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Jake Ferguson. You're playing both of them. Yeah. I understand. But Brock Bowers is like a mini wide receiver. It's not, to me, okay, look, the Bears defense, they don't play off coverage as much as we saw the Washington Commanders defense do last season. They also don't get as much pressure. So the passing game will work, and you don't need to rely on Trey Tucker being 6 yards open on everything. Brock Bowers catches the ball in space. They play a lot of 12 personnel. They have a bunch of yards per play when they're playing 12 personnel. Brock Bowers on the field means he's constantly a potential target. It's rare for me that even if he throws a block at first, doesn't matter. He can shed that block and get out because you know what? Geno Smith is taking a long time to throw the ball. So he could throw the block and get open. It could all work.
Yeah. Look, Brock Bowers, and there's been some moments too watching this Raiders offense where you go, hey, is he going to be more involved? That Monday night game a couple weeks ago, you start saying, oh, like what's kind of the deal here? But to your point, an absolute monster when he is out on the football field. But DraftKings Sportsbook, by the way, it's the place to go to bet touchdowns this season. And this week, new customers can bet $5 and get 200 in bonus bets instantly and get over 200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Download the app and use the promo code GAME when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. I know we just talked a little bit about Jalen Hurts. Just always flatline. I know I used that phrase a little bit earlier. We showed the reaction to him with Jordan Davis running it back in for a touchdown, a game-winning moment, game-sealing moment against the Rams. There he is. He is fired up. Talk a little bit more about his matchup with the Bucs. That's next.
Goff takes, turns, gives to Montgomery. Two hands on that football. There he goes over the right side. 25, 20, cuts to the right at the 15, down to the 10, down to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Demo to the house, 31 yards. And the Lions have put this game on ice. What a night for the Detroit Lions. What a statement by this football team.
The play right before that touchdown was a 4th and 2 at midfield, and Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown, a beautiful touch pass, a great catch, and then obviously leading to David Montgomery finding the end zone, a statement win for the Lions. One thing to look for today, we'll focus in on that Lions squad. Cynthia, I feel like I got to let you tee things off here because that is your squad. This is a tough defense in the Cleveland Browns that they are going to be facing. I feel like explosive plays might be one thing that we should be keeping an eye out for.
Jameson Williams is the explosive playmaker. He needs like 3 catches to get 100 yards and a touchdown sometimes. But, you know, when Jared Goff is looking for him, it is always in, you know, the busted coverage situation. You give Jared Goff Jameson Williams in space, you know, it's a track meet. And you really don't want to run against the Browns. I already told you they're the #1 run defense, and for good reason. They have actually not allowed a rush over 12 yards yet. Not one. Not like fewest. No, exactly 0. And they've allowed the fewest first downs on rushes, so you're going to need these explosive pass plays.
Yeah, for that reason, I had David Montgomery as a sit this week, which is a little spicy after we saw him do Monday.
It's not.
That
is
is
spicy.
No, that is spicy.
I think it's but if you see the Browns defense, then you're like, okay. I'm
gotta have some good options if you're going to be pivoting from Montgomery.
I'm watching Quinshon Judkins in this one. Yeah. Like last week, he did it, but we didn't know he was going to be the guy the full time and everything. Like, because the week before that, they used all 3 of their backs. Now the Lions have tape on him. They are prepared for him. Can he go out and do it once again against a tough Lions run defense? And will we see him utilize more in the passing game? Because they could fall behind in this one. And I'm hoping he doesn't get game scripted out. Because if he gets utilized in the passing game, putting a fantasy spin on it, he is a must-play in fantasy moving forward.
All right, Titans and Texans come to mind. This is a Houston team that's still looking for, which is crazy for me to say this, looking for their first win of the season. And I get it. There have been some really good opponents for them. Is it just obvious to point to the quarterback and say, hey, C.J. Stroud, deliver. This is a game you should win?
Yes, that is what I'm watching. We were talking about C.J. Stroud earlier in the show, and the Titans, they create pressure at the 3rd lowest rate in the NFL right now. You could pass on them, like Cynthia was talking about, especially downfield. Like, you have the weapons there. You should have time to throw. This is a game where I need C.J. Stroud to look more like C.J. Stroud because I don't put it all on him. I think they did him no favors this offseason getting rid of Laramie Tunsil and being like, yeah, he'll be fine. Because pressure is what gets to C.J. Stroud. And he's not the only one. It happens with a lot of quarterbacks.
Or maybe they shouldn't run like a New England Patriots-style offense.
That too.
Like, tailor to what makes sense to him. But I'm just saying. I just watch these games. I don't call them.
You should, though. I mean, because right now, maybe you could help C.J. Stroud out more than the Texans are.
It's not. Don't run an offense set for Tom Brady if you have C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, and
just a thought.
Keep him upright, right? Like that's what I want to see today.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're looking at the other side of this one, I told you Cam Ward getting sacked is something I'm worried about. The Texans can bring the heat. Please fix the O-line for this poor kid. All right, all done now. Soapbox moment over.
You name check the Patriots. I'll throw them into the mix as well. They match up against the Carolina Panthers team, who all of a sudden look like just gangbusters a week ago. What's the one thing to watch for in this one?
I think the Hunter Henry touchdown situation was not just a one-week anomaly. I think that what's going to have to happen here until Travion Henderson kind of takes that step forward, and we keep calling it every week. But I'm looking at this Panthers defense, and the first 2 games, it looked completely different than the game winners that they were, the wreckers for the Falcons, like blanking them. Like that's 2 different. It's still the same. It's still the same defense. So there's still going to be areas to target. I just believe that the chemistry between Drake May and Hunter Henry has evolved so much that in the red area, he's just looking for it. And he's huge, so it's a good reason to look for him.
Yeah. I mean, Hunter Henry is awesome, and you mentioned can this please be the Travion Henderson week?
Come on, it's rookie week. It is rookie week.
I do think this is going to be a huge week for all of these rookies. But you had 3 fumbles last week by the other running backs, and then he played 80% of the snaps, over 80%. Perfect timing, right? The Panthers allow almost 6 yards per carry. They struggle against explosive runs, 3rd most rushing yards allowed. Like, you drafted him in the 2nd round for a reason. Please, like, you don't have to get rid of Foley, Ramondre Stevenson, but can we maybe be done with this Antonio Gibson thing in the backfield as well? Like, give Henderson a chance, because it's now or never for a lot of fantasy managers out there.
Now, look, last week on the show, you were calling for Henderson to have a big game. Looking for it once again in this one. Commanders and Falcons, we gave the injuries updates a little bit earlier as the actives and the inactives. Terry McLaurin out. We know Jaden Daniels out because of the knee injury. Does it matter based off of what we saw from Atlanta last week?
We need to see more signs of life from the Falcons' passing attack. Like, their running attack is maybe the best in the league with Bijan. He's back to Bijan now, but yeah, like, it might be one of the best in the NFL. But Drake London right now, like, he's been on a milk carton to start the year. He is the wide receiver 46 in fantasy. 55 yards is his high mark in a game. He doesn't have a touchdown. So please, can we get Drake London going?
I have something to say to that. 50.4. That is the pressure rate that the Commanders are bringing against opposing. Ooh. That's going to be really hard to get a pass game going because Michael Penix Jr., it hasn't been pretty when he's been under pressure. 50.4. 4.
Yeah.
That penmanship
in the
is
league.
pretty.
I know the penmanship again.
I had to. I needed. Listen, I needed to hit a dopamine before we left.
It really is. It's impeccable there. By the way, just one other note from a Commander's perspective, because obviously Marcus looked pretty good there. Heavy dose of Debo.
Yeah, I mean they paid him for a reason.
Yeah.
This is Zach Ertz touchdown. If you're playing DFS, play with Zach Ertz. Just trust me. That's like the Cliff Kingsbury touchdown to Zach Ertz. I love the man. I've had him 2 different places. Anyways. And Debo Samuel. This has to be. They brought him in for a reason. He's already been the third down kind of like guy, the trick play guy, the run. It doesn't even matter. But in Marcus Mariota, they still had the highest yards per play average this past week. And they've had 2 different quarterbacks. They're just similar quarterback styles. So it really works well to kind of have him in Jaden Daniels' relief to come in and play and kind of execute the same game plan. So I'm looking at this one and I'm like, all right, number 1 is going to be definitely targeted a ton.
Cynthia, you and I are sitting next to a Bills fan. They have a Saints team at home. We were talking about this game before we came on air today, and I was like, hey, can we get something? Can we story like a path for the Saints? This is going to be an uphill battle. I think we all recognize that. Do you just point to one skill position player? Is it like a unit on that team where you say, hey, there's like a chance?
When I'm looking at Alvin Kamara, it's really about how he fares against last-ranked run defenses. He did it last season. He had 155 rushing yards in that outing. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking he is their number 1 source of offense.
Yes.
No matter what. Do I want him if I'm him? I mean, the Bills, they also know he's really good. So do I want him if I'm a Bills, defensive coordinator, anything? Am I going to no? But I think he'll have at least the volume to justify. I don't think he's going to get 155 rushing yards, but if you're in a dicey situation for fantasy, you're probably not able to sit him.
Do you feel like, do you get nervous for games like this?
No.
As a Bills fan, you're like,
no.
Hey, like this is one we should win.
We should win by more than 2 touchdowns.
If they don't win today, something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. But from a Bills perspective of things,
he already said they're going to run the table, so he's not worried about the Saints.
That's actually a really good point.
I want to, because as good as this team is, there's 2 must-play options for fantasy. It's Allen and Cook, and that's it because they spread the ball around. At 10 different players were targeted last week, 5 different receivers. This feels like an opportunity to get Keon Coleman going because you're going to need him late in the year. I still think he has breakout upside. But they need to give him chances.
But don't you think, though, part of the advantage they have in targeting all these different people is now defense will be like, well, who the heck is the number 1?
It's an advantage.
If I'm them, I'm like, let's have people that we didn't even admit. Like, let's have, Dawson Knox.
Shavers is coming in.
Shavers is coming in. Like, I don't know. I would mix it up to keep people guessing. Like, that is the ultimate bluff. I'm obsessed with poker analogies in football, and if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm figuring out how to bluff. This is a perfect bluff game. I'm throwing it to like rando weird situation. Like, I don't know, I'm running hitch routes with like not guys who are anyways, doing that.
I just want more
being weird.
Coleman. I believe in him so much.
Yeah. We've seen him flash.
I like him too. I'm just saying. I'm saying Bills fans.
No,
you're smart to spread it around.
Yeah, this could be one of those. Chargers and Giants. There's a part of me that just sort of says, look, Jackson Dart's the obvious answer here. I watched every preseason game for the Giants, and I said, hey, when Jackson was out there, there's just juice. Guys light up. I know I joked earlier about turning the frown upside down for Malik Neighbors, but it does feel like when guys are happy out there, know they're going to get the rock, like good things happen.
Yeah, and I joked a lot this week. Like the happiest I've ever seen Malik Neighbors as a Giant is when he was catching balls from Jackson Dart in the preseason. He said his message would be get number 1 the ball. I agree. He was my offensive player of the year pick coming into the year. Give him an opportunity, right? So give him plenty of targets today is what I'm hoping for.
I think you have to also look at Cam Scatterbo. Like, no Tyrone Tracy, so you have an opportunity for him to. Scatterbo looked pretty happy.
Yeah.
He looked like he was happy to be there.
The tacklers don't.
No, but he's like, I love that he's like a little meathead. Like, I interviewed him at the combine. He told me that when he was watching the draft, he's going to be eating meat. So maybe it's Old Trapper. I'm just saying, we don't know. We're unconfirmed, but it's possible it's Old Trapper. But ultimately, I think he's going to be a decent reason for them to have some success going forward. He's going to help get them out of sticky situations and early downs. That is important to get. Don't get in 3rd and 1,000,000. Get in 3rd and 4.
Yeah. And by the way, from a fantasy perspective, in this game, you mentioned him, Amari, and Hampton as one of your must-5 starts that needs to get into a lineup. Najee Harris, we know, is out, so Hampton an opportunity to showcase why he was considered one of the premier running backs in this draft class. Eagles and Bucks. All right, we said, hey, Baker could be in that MVP conversation. We know the Philadelphia Eagles on the short list to potentially get back to a Super Bowl. Who's that player, Cynthia, that we need to watch out for?
I'm just watching. The Eagles aren't really sacking the quarterback, and this offensive line is very banged up. If Tristan Wirfs is out there, it could be a little less banged up, but they're very banged up. If they can't start closing the deal on the pressure, that's going to be a problem going forward. So I'm looking at this one and I'm saying, all right, I mean, it makes everyone fully playable, obviously, but ultimately, and when you're not sitting Baker Mayfield, our MVP potential.
Yeah.
But you are looking at and you're saying, is this Eagles going to be for real? Then they need to start sacking the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm looking at Emeka Egbuka because he has stepped up in a big way as the number 2, but we've seen all number 1 corners pretty much shadowing Mike Evans this year. That's going to be different without Mike Evans out there. Sure. So can he still step up and deliver without the number 1 there?
All right, those are a couple of the games, by the way, that have yet to be played here. There was one game that's already done. It actually just went final a few moments ago. Played in Dublin. Got the Pittsburgh Steelers matching up against the Minnesota Vikings without J.J. McCarthy. And Aaron Rodgers, guys, taking advantage. DK Metcalf. Cynthia, off to the races.
Off to the races, all the yak. Plus, I mean, they just, the zone, if you're going to, one of the weaknesses of the Brian Flores defense is that if you can read the zone the way Aaron Rodgers has, and by the way, he has a lot of experience reading zones like this for many, many years in many different teams, he's going to find his mismatches. A lot of times, when I was watching the game, you saw Minnesota look like they were, the Steelers looked like they were blocking for a run, so the defense thought it was a run. Well, you know what Aaron Rodgers did? He's like, ha, 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 just kidding. It's DK Metcalf in the flat, or whatever. So they just took advantage of those reasons, and that's where Aaron Rodgers' experience would come into huge, huge advantage.
And by the way, speaking of Minnesota, their defense also coming up huge. It's really carried this team the last couple campaigns, and it was a huge 4th down stop as the Steelers were trying to put this game on ice. That didn't happen. Here we go.
4 Steelers defenders just let him run right by.
What defense is this? Covered 0. No.
Yeah, they were not cover 3.
Not cover number 3.
Great to see Jordan Addison, by the way, make his season debut. Remember, suspended for the first 3 games of the season. Jalen Naylor into the end zone. We got ourselves a ball game here.
I mean, he kept looking for Jalen Naylor on that entire drive. It was like 3 passes to him. Luckily, that last one works, but it would have been very infuriating because he wasn't even looking Justin Jefferson's way.
Like the Thursday night game, right? Like the offense held in check for 3.5 quarters, and then they explode.
This is, I mean, once again, by the way, I just want to love up this Vikings defense.
Yeah.
We showed you the 4th down stop. That's a 3rd and 1. That forced a punt, so it kept them alive in this game. It's 4th and 18. Ooh, Carson looking in the middle of the field. Sean Elliott breaking up that pass. So you can see the Steelers able to hold on in this game. You can see just sort of like the storm. Tomlin's like, yeah, man, been there, done that. Of course, we're going to handle business here. I think from a Pittsburgh perspective, because they win this game, we should start there. There's some really positives that we saw from their offense, especially early. Vikings defense was able to ramp it up, though.
Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, when I'm looking at what really gave them the edge here, it was consistent rushing efficiency from Kenneth Gainwell. You know, like obviously the 2 touchdowns were nice for fantasy owners, but I'm talking about like where was Aaron Rodgers looking? What was he able to do? What were they when they were run blocking? It was for, I mean, they had Art Smith was in his bag there, figuring out stuff for Gainwell to gain those yards, and then you saw the ability there to generate yards after the catch on the pass plays. So that's how this offense works well. Play action. You need all those things work together. You need to run to play action. That's how that works. You're not tricked. You're not.
Yeah, and on the Vikings side, like their O-line got beat up today. I think it was 7 times Wentz was sacked in this game.
O'Neal was out the game, though.
And all you got next week is, you get Cleveland Browns. So good luck next week protecting Carson
Maybe
Wentz.
The Cleveland Browns will win the NFC North. If they can knock off the Lions, they already knocked off the Packers, and which
is just wild. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about this team's offense. What do you do with Joe Flacco and how to handle that? Just something to keep in mind here also from a Vikings perspective. I know there were some conversations with J.J. McCarthy. They sit at 2-2 now at the season. Like, we start to get a little worried here?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, Carson Wentz did not look great. That's it.
But you can't fall behind in that division. You got the Packers, the Lions, the Bears are looking a little bit better.
Yeah. Everyone's trying to beat each other up is what it comes down to. One game in the books. We got a slew more today. And, of course, if you're tracking all of them, no better place to be. It's Game
Center.
He's on it. Come on now.
Bye.